and Glenn, I mean, the Federal Records Act, violating that law, there would, in theory, be consequences for that. But since they can't find these records, you can't really reconstruct what the text might have said. How would this even be approached potentially if there were violations of the law here?
Well, one way you can try to recreate what those text messages said is to put everybody under subpoena, place them under oath, and ask them, for example, when you were in the basement of the Capitol, in the loading dock, trying to urge the vice president to get into the car, and he said what Representative Raskin said were those 6 most chilling words: "I'm not getting in the car." What did you communicate to your fellow Secret Service agents? I mean, put them under oath and sweat them. Look, at this point, Joy, let's call it what it is. They were asked to preserve texts and they deleted them. That, to me, feels like what we call adequate predication, a fancy term for enough evidence to open a criminal probe. If the Secret Service did nothing wrong, then they should welcome an FBI investigation into something that really looks nefarious.
Speaking of people who don't seem to have much respect for the law, this guy thought, I don't have to do these subpoenas. We don't do that in the Trump world. Here's him recently during his trial.
For them to sit there and try to get a complete hearing and they won't bring in any testimony about FBI involvement, any testimony about DHS involvement, any testimony about any other involvement, and what's driving this: the total and complete illegitimacy of Joe Biden. Trump won. Joe Biden's illegitimate.
He obviously thinks that doing that outside the courtroom has some impact on what the judge is doing inside. That seems like an idiotic notion.
Yeah, here we go, Joy. So I think one thing that can actually bring all Americans together, I think we can all agree, Steve Bannon loves to run his mouth. He runs his mouth on a podcast. He runs his mouth. I've been in the courtroom every day. He runs his mouth outside the courthouse every day. He's trolling Benny Thompson. He's trolling Anthony Fauci. He is spewing all of this nonsense into the public square. Well, guess what? Tomorrow is his big day. Tomorrow, the defense case opens. He gets to take the stand, and he gets to run his mouth under oath. And then he has to withstand cross-examination by a prosecutor, Assistant United States Attorney Amanda Vaughn, who, together with her trial partner, has done a remarkable job of presenting the evidence of Steve Bannon's guilt. So let's see if he is brave enough to take the stand and run his mouth when it really counts. I'm saying the smart money is running on Steve Bannon continuing to sit quietly in court like a bump on a log and saying nothing.
Yeah.